Afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome to another phenomenal masterclass session. It is going to be so engaging, so conversational. You're also going to be hearing testimonial, a real life demo session of one of our students who was able to take our program end to end, what she was able to build, and basically how she has been able to upskill so far. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us this evening, this morning, to listen in on the conversation, to pick a thing or two when it comes to artificial intelligence, and also to be able to understand how artificial intelligence can help you in the long run. Okay. So I promise you it's going to be super engaging. We're going to have a lot of conversation. Please also have your pen, your biro, but your pen and your book actually. But also know that the call is also going to be fully recorded. So my colleague would also be dropping the attendance sheets once we start off. Please ensure you fill it in so you can have access to the recording once we are done with the program. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. And I think right about now we can get started. Okay. So my name is Treasure Akiopo and I'm the team lead at Analytics Business. Like I mentioned earlier, today is going to be an AI demo showcase when we're going to show a particular student and what she has done so far and how artificial intelligence has been able to make her life easier. I'm Treasure. I am based out of Lagos, Nigeria. I want to get to know each and every one of you. So if you can indulge me, just go into the chat section, put in your name and where you're joining us from. So let's have that as more people are joining in. I would like to know each and every one on the call. So please let's just have your name and where you're joining us from. Let's have that. Let's have that. Like I said, my name is Treasure, so I'm just gonna start. My name is Treasure and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. So you can go ahead and put in your locations as well. So just do that in the chat so that we can get to know each and everyone on the call before we kick off the program properly. Okay, so let's have that, guys. It's very, very cold on here before we get, oh, all right, fantastic. So we have Ife Omare joining from Delta State. Welcome to today's session. I promise you would have a phenomenal time. We have Uche, who is joining from Enugu. We have Aliyu, who is joining from Abuja. And then my colleague has put in the attendance. Please just go ahead, fill your information in the form. What we essentially need it for is when we need to send out the recordings, it is only individuals who fill their information that would have access to the recording at the end of the day. And we're going to be dropping tips and tricks on basically how you can sort yourself in the job market. Because a lot of people are quite confused in terms of, oh, I've been hearing a lot of artificial intelligence, but how do I make money from it at the end of the day? Like, what do I need to do at the end of the day to make money? We're going to be talking about that and so much more in this conversation. We also have Eli, who is joining us from Ilorin. We have Debbie, who is joining us from the United States of Lagos. Wow, I never knew Lagos had the United States, but thank you so much. And if you are joining, I'm trying to get to know everyone on the call. At least we're still very few. So if you can indulge me, put your name in and your location where you are joining us from. Just put in your name and the location that you are joining us from. Be very helpful. In as much as this is a master class, it is also an opportunity for you to network with individuals because we have top professionals joining in from around the world. Lagos, Africa, and globally. So it will be good to just have that conversation flowing so that you can engage with other people during the course of the conversation. Okay. So we also have Lanway. Lanway is joining us from Lagos. Fantastic. Welcome to today's session. We have Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim is joining from Abuja. So welcome to today's session. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, today, right after the student is done presenting, we're going to be talking about how to land a job in this space using artificial intelligence. And you don't want to miss out on that. How you can build a career at the end of the day. You don't want to miss out on that. Okay. Since we're still getting to know each other in that same orderly fashion, you can see that I have a background on my screen. So I want to know if this is the first time that you've joined any of our programs. Could be masterclass, could be live session, as the case may be. If this is the first time that you've joined any of our programs, please drop a 1 on the chat. If not, please drop a 0. I want to give special offerings to those that are just joining the program. And if you like, It's still on you. So, if this is the first time that you're joining our session, please drop a one on the chat. If not, please drop a zero. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, so that we know the different individuals that we have. So, okay, this is the first time. Olusajo is the first time. Okay, Aliyu. Okay, second time. Well, semi-new. We can still, spread the love to you, Aliyu. Anilka, no. Abdulkarim, zero. Okay, okay, okay. Omara, this is the first time. Okay, so if we're doing like an analysis based off just 5 people that responded so far, we have like more individuals that have joined the first time or second time thereabouts. So, welcome to Analytics Business. And if this is not the first time, you know the drill, okay? So we're just gonna go over who we are just to help those individuals that's getting started with us for the first time. And then I'll give clarity on what Analytics Business is and how we can have conversations in terms of helping you with your career pathway and what the next steps looks like. Okay, so please also, if you know anybody that this will be beneficial to, especially with the job setting, because it's a new year, everybody had goals that they wanted to achieve in 2026. 2026 is here. It is no longer Christmas period, and you should start looking at how you can get to those goals and objectives. So one of the main steps in actually doing that is planning, looking at what the market looks like, and then, having certain strategic moves in getting into the market. And this is what we're going to be focusing on in today's conversation. So if you know anybody that this would be beneficial to as well, just send them the link, and then, they should join the session as soon as possible. Okay, so now let's just go ahead to share the slides. I've been using time to, kind of wait for others to join in, but I think right about now, we can get started in today's conversation. So while I'm pulling up my slide, okay, 1 second, everyone. Just gonna redo that again. So I'm gonna share my screen and then we can get started. So please confirm that you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up. If you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, all right, fantastic. So like I said, today's demo session, we're going to be talking about how you can use artificial intelligence to conduct market research and also see how you can be able to generate actionable reports. One thing that I would say I noticed last year was once we were trying to wrap up with the year, there was a lot of end of year reports. Oh, what have we done in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4? Want to see what that looks like. I want to get real-time information. And a lot of departments were scrambling. Oh, having to put all this together. But I think the world has gone far past scrambling, having to analyze data and so on and so forth when you actually have artificial intelligence that can help you with those goals and objectives. So what we're going to be looking at in real time, how can you create an automated report that needs or requires little to no input from that individual? And this is not what we'll be only limiting to. There is so much more you can do with artificial intelligence, and would also still have conversations regards that as we go further down the conversation. But now we want to talk about AI tools, AI agents, being able to create and conduct a market research. A lot of individuals also mentioned earlier in the year, oh, I'm looking to start up a business, but I don't know what niche to go into, or I know what niche to go into, but I don't know what the market there looks like. And then that's been one of the reasons why you stalled for the past 3, 4, 5 years, because you cannot actively do a proper research into the particular niche that you're going into. But right now, you don't need to even bother about that, because there's a lot of information that artificial intelligence is open to, is privy to. And based off the case study, based off you properly prompting the tool, you can be able to do your market research, get actionable insights. You look through your information, you analyze the data, and at the end of the day, you're able to state, oh, this is the business I want to go into. This is the business that would be, would generate me the most profits. But for you to do that, artificial intelligence would be something that would help you analyze those information. Oh, what's my target demography? What's my target location? How much do I need to put into this business in terms of capital? What will be my operational expenses? All these little things are the reason why you've not started the business you promised yourself 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, because you don't know what next to do or how to even go about it. And artificial intelligence can help you sort that out. But not a lot of people know that. Use ChatGPT every single day to send emails to your HR. Oh, this is the reason why I don't want to do this. Or you're using to send a professional email. But then even ChatGPT can do so much more for you. So these and many more are what we're going to talk about in today's session. So let's quickly move on to the next slide and then get started. So for those that are just joining, for the very first time, welcome. You found a very interesting company, and we're going to make sure that we can help you as much as possible get professional trained information, okay, that will take your career to the next level. Okay, so Tenalytics Business essentially is an EdTech company, and we've even grown past EdTech because right now we're also offering consulting services. So we look at helping individuals as well as organization get to the next step. And what do I mean by that? So what makes up a company at the end of the day? It is the people factor. Okay, if you're looking to grow your business and it's not just a one-man thing, even if it's a one-man thing, you yourself make up the business. And how can you get your business to be a lot more productive than it is? It is looking at the people, looking at their gaps, looking at their strengths. How can I take someone who is just a graphics designer, let's say, so to say, and take the person to the next level? This is where in-demand skills are very, very important. So we look at the market, we look at the World Economic Forum end to end, we look at the global market and see, okay, what are certain tech courses, what are certain soft skill courses, non-technical courses in whatever industry, and state, oh, this is what would be good for your company, for your staff to learn, you as an individual to also learn. So before we even give quotations for companies, because like I mentioned, it is an individual training as well as a company or business-wide training. We have to do an assessment, know what your training needs is, and prefer you solution. So we don't give you outdated courses like, oh no, let Excel and Power BI. They are great tools, don't get me wrong. But right now, there are more advanced tools that can make your staff, you yourself, be more effective in your day-to-day activities. And that is what we focus on. We look at skills that in demand have a high trajectory of getting you good salaries at the end of the day. You have a good career growth plan that you can focus on. Oh, between now and 2035, I should have made this amount of money. I should have grown through the cadres. And it is only through the necessary in-demand tech skills that you can achieve this. And this is what we focus on. So we don't just look at, oh, learn a skill and that's the end of it. If you want to do that, you go to YouTube, go to Coursera. There are a lot of videos out there. But if you're looking to have skill sets, not just a certificate, if you're looking to be job ready, to be more, I would say to get more, what's the word now? Revenue, money at the end of the day, this is the right place to be. Okay. So we've been doing this for the last 5 years and we've helped over 2,000, get me correctly, 2,000 individuals transition from classroom to getting their first job in tech. Okay. So we're not looking at, just learn and have a good life. It is learn. This is the skill set. These are the things you need to get good money at the end of the day. And even while you're working, if you need support, this is what you need to work on. So these are the things that we focus on in the company. So we've helped a lot of individuals, a lot of companies. So if you know you're in any of this direction, you can just stay to the end and we'll show you how that is done. Okay. So that's a bit about Tenalytics Business. So moving on to the next slide. A bit about myself. I guess I have to introduce myself again. All right. So for those who don't know me, my name is Treasure Akiopo, and I'm currently leading the team at Tenalytics Business. I'm also a consulting and partnerships team lead for Tenalytics as well. And in the last half a decade or so, I've been able to, get concrete relationships for the company. I've also worked as a projects manager. If you've had conversations with me, I've been managing projects for different organizations in Canada, in US, and also in the UK. Majorly, I look at growth. and impact as well as education, and just essentially looking at how you can get individuals to have the next best demand skills. We've also been able to host hackathons across the US, UK, Europe, specifically Spain and Germany, when it comes to machine learning, coding, and AI ethics. In terms of partnerships, if you look at our portfolio, we kickstarted that earlier last year and we're able to have conversations with loads and loads of companies. So yeah, I think I'm in the right place to have this conversation with you. I'm also a career coach, so I've also helped individuals get jobs at the end of the day in foreign companies, even while being in Nigeria. I also help foreign clients, US, UK clients, also land roles in the project management space. So yeah, this is a bit about myself. If you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. You can send me a DM, send me a follow request, whatever. I'm very, very open to have conversations and see how we can both help each other grow in this business. Okay. So now let's go into the action of today. If you have been with me so far, drop a I'm ready in the chat so we can get started. If you've been with me so far, drop I am ready so we can get started. Just drop I am ready in the chat so I know you're actively on this call and we can move on to the good stuff. Okay, Rafiat said she's ready. Abdulkarim, just check Treasure Akip on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure I'll pop up. So just send me a message, send me a DM, and so on and so forth. Okay, I love the energy. I love the energy. Rafiat is ready. Benga is ready. Ilya is ready. Abdulkarim is ready. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for your resting started right about now. Please bring out your book, your biro, your pen, paper, juices, and so on and so forth. It is about to get very, very interesting. Okay, so we've gotten a lot of I'm ready. Let's get into it. So now the next step, talking about what you're going to be looking at in this session, we are looking to offer you a lot of things. The very first thing, oh, the session is absolutely recorded. So my colleague is dropping a chat. It's an attendance form. Just go ahead to fill that form. And once you're done filling the form, once we're done with the session, it uploads into the Zoho cloud. By tomorrow, latest by Monday, you should be able to get the recording. So ensure that you fill the form so that you have access to it once we are done. Okay. So after this session, what are you looking to get? You'll be looking at understanding how multi-agent AI system can conduct market research and also generate reports. That's the key thing. We want to show off. This is what our student has been able to do. And the funny thing is, individuals think, oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I can't do anything AI related. I need to have a tech background. I need to be a exceptionally tech savvy person to get it done. I'm laughing because right about now, the world has gone past, oh, you need to know how to code. Oh, you need to know how to do this. No, 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 no. You just need to understand what the tool is, how the tool operates, how you can use it for the next best thing, and you're good to go. And this is what I would say, a lot of foreign companies are looking for. If you're applying for a data analyst role, you would not see, oh, do you know how to use Excel, Power BI? Those are major requirements, but you will see nice to have. Do you know how to make use of Bricks AI, Julius AI, and so on and so forth? And imagine the only criteria standing between you and the next person is just those AI tools. I always have this saying, it's better to have something and not need it, but than to need it and not have it, because that's when it's going to be very painful. You want to travel abroad, you have an opportunity to do that, you don't have a passport. Let's not even get into that conversation. So you need to understand we'll be looking at how the multi-agent AI system works, and how you can use it to conduct a market research and generate reports once we're done with this session. We'd also see an end-to-end process in real time. This is our student who was able to create this. How you can create friendly AI projects from ideation to execution. When people think about AI workflows, they think it has to be something absolutely absurd or so technical. It could be something as simple as sending out emails. It could be something as applying for jobs. It could be something that's just research that you're making use of artificial intelligence to do. It doesn't have to be something exorbitant and crazy and technical. You build in cadres. You don't just jump. You don't just start walking or you start crawling and you feel like the next thing is for you to fly. It is a procedure. It is a step-by-step process. And one of the beautiful things about life is understanding that you have to go through a process. Okay, so people that are trying to jump the guns are people that find it extremely hard. But if you are looking to go through the process, you stand a better chance of getting better information out of the process. Okay, so we'll look at end-to-end processes, and then finally, we'll look at how Ten Business Program can equip you with the necessary skills that you can use to apply in a real-world setting. One thing that I love to talk about for Ten businesses, we pride ourselves in real world case scenario. We're not teaching you in an abstract term. If you have a business and you have a catering business, how can you use artificial intelligence to start up that business, to run the business from start to finish, and also improve on things as you go. So these are some of the things that you would be learning with artificial intelligence as well. And we'll show you all the steps, tips, and tricks that you can use, even, something that you can use now if you decide to go for any of the program. So we'll focus on things like this end to end. And I hope you have an amazing session right after this. Okay, so let's move on. So now, a very, very interesting question. When it comes to research for you as an individual, what is the hardest part of research that you would love AI to handle? And I want everyone's contribution to this. You can either drop your response in the chat or, if you want to raise your hand to speak. Oh, yes, by all means, let's have that. So what is the hardest part of research? Could be market research, it could be financial research, even social media, whatever. When it comes to research, what's the hardest part for you that you feel like you want artificial intelligence to be able to handle? Please just take a minute, think about it. I'm about to start a business. When it comes to me, when it comes to research in general, what I really like to look at is the statistical aspects. And when I have to do that, I have to look through different documents. I don't want to have to be going through that end to end. And that's where I feel like AI comes in handy, looking at the data, the statistic, the numbers, because I'm very, 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 very particular about numbers. So to you, when it comes to research, what's the hardest part you'd love AI to handle? Aliu says tax management matters. I think that's a very key topic because being a Nigerian at this point and trying to figure out, oh, how does this tax thing works? How much am I how much would they remove from my salary? What would be my take home at the end of the day? How is this beneficial? Where is it going to? There's just a lot of information out there, and then you don't really know what's clear, what you need to be listening to, and so on and so forth. But then if you have verifiable sources, looking at because I recently just got my own tax ID, what they call it now, this tax board, going in there, doing the necessary steps, you're good to go. Funny enough, they even have the calculation on the website, so you can easily see in real time, oh, these are the things that I need to be doing. If I don't earn up to this is what they will take out of my salary at the end of the year. And it's an annual thing, it's not even a monthly thing. So research in itself can help you get proper information, verifiable information. So one thing I love about AI and the upgrade that they even did is the fact that they are also talking about sources. Okay, they don't just give me information and say, oh, that's, at least I know prior they didn't, but I think last year thereabout, you start to see sources of information. So it's really, really good that they have that implementation as well. Okay, so hardest parts, please, I need a lot more responses. I've only gotten 3 responses. Or do you people not use AI? Please, if you don't use AI, can tell me you don't use AI so that we can move on from the conversation. Okay. So the next person said how AI can handle my research in a human way such that it beats an it's like saying how you can use fire to fight fire. So you want a humanized AI conversation so to say. I think this is very, very important when it comes to like dissertations, when it comes to writing your thesis, doing your projects, and so on and so forth. Because one of the key things they will tell you specifically is, oh, we don't want you to, make use of artificial intelligence. But funnily enough, a lot of the new foreign universities will state that you should also let them know when you are making use of AI, but just make sure that you are not copying people's work verbatim. Okay. So in as much as artificial intelligence does so much, you cannot take the humanized factor out of humans because we still add that personalized touch. Funny enough, when ChatGPT came out during the first couple of months, I was so fascinated by it because, it just looked like, oh, how can you write an essay that looks this good? I'm a writer. I struggle. I make mistakes. I correct. I have to look at grammarly, make sure that everything just aligns. But now there was something I was doing it so easily. But with time, you see that there's a pattern. You can even study artificial intelligence. There are some of these words that you use that doesn't feel humanized at the end of the day. You have these dashes, you have certain statements that you see over and over again, and you just know, oh, okay, this is AI. When people send me emails, I can easily tell I think a lot of people can tell, oh, yeah, this is AI. This is not human because it just feels overly out of touch. Okay, that is why even when AI does something for you, you should always oversee. Take a second look, take a third and fourth look at it, and to make sure that you are getting the best results out of the artificial intelligence tool. And this is where prompting comes into play. A lot of people don't know how to prompt properly. Okay. So yeah, that's another fantastic one. Then we have marketing the business. Fantastic. When it comes to AI and marketing, I think that's the most like a very interesting aspect to things. And thank God we have a course that's even on marketing end to end. When it comes to digital marketing and how you can use artificial intelligence, a lot can be done. Especially if you're looking at video, content creation, and so on and so forth. A lot of the newer generations, a lot of the newer marketing style revolves around AI. But not a lot of people know how to make use of AI to achieve their goal and objective. Oh, I want to sell a product. I want to sell a book. How can I make it fancy enough? How can I make it, or who are my target audience at the end of the day? I have a friend who is currently getting into the private jet business. That is a very niched, like it is for the 10% and 1% of the 1%, if you know what I mean. So the marketing style of that person and the marketing style of someone who is selling, books and barrels. I'm not saying that, both businesses are not great, but it's different because your target audience is different, the demography is different, and so on and so forth. For you to even do analysis on how should I market, AI can help you achieve that. You see, AI can help you get to that goal very easily. You'll be able to understand, oh, this is my audience. These are the type of things I should be saying to them. Oh, no, this would not be a good fit. Artificial intelligence would do the analysis for you and tell you why this is a good fit and why this is not a good fit. Okay, so yeah, I'm loving the responses so far. How to source information. The truth is, I hardly use AI. You should get on the bandwagon. Just try it little by little. I know a lot of people say people are addicted to artificial intelligence. They don't think by themselves. Okay, yeah, we get it. It's the same thing when they brought a calculator and an abacus. Okay, you could have been counting with abacus for ages and ages and say, whatever. But now people have calculators and they're easily able to add, subtract, whatever for their different calculations. But that's the very important thing. Learning this thing is not so because people do say that, oh, it's cringe to use AI, or a lot of people are using AI, so why should I use AI at the end of the day? You need to understand that there is a trend. And in as much as we don't want to follow trends, so to say, and you want to stand out, be your own person, but there are reasons why people make use of artificial intelligence. At the end of the day, they want to be more productive. They want to make use of their time to the best and fullest ability that they can get to. Okay. If it's gonna take me 5 minutes to get this done, and this is something that takes me 5 hours, why waste that time at the end of the day? Why waste that time? And based off artificial intelligence, there are a lot of new roles that are coming up every single day. And this is what we'll focus on going into today's program. Thank you so much for sharing. sharing your insights so far. So please, if you're just joining in, for everyone that's just joining in, please just click on the attendance form that Deborah is sharing. We're going to be dropping a lot of tips and nuggets. Once the students coming up would have a conversation. So you don't want to miss out on that. If you want to have access to the recording, access to the slides, please just fill this attendance form, okay? So let's move on. Another important question, when it comes to automating reports in general, what would you say that companies are using today to automate their reports? What would you say that companies are using today to automate their report? There's even one that Microsoft, users make use of. Okay, there's one that Microsoft users make use of. If you are using Zoho Workspace, Google Workspace, Microsoft Workspace, there are automated reports. If you know, you know. There are lots of automated reports at this point. They are not even AI tool related. It's just Microsoft, Zoho, Google Workspace, all uses different. Power BI, one of them. But we have AI tools that are superseding Power BI at this point. That's the very interesting aspect. So the world is moving into new trends, and now some certain things are kind of going into obsolete. But then what AI tools are companies using today to automate their reports? Who has an idea? Who has an idea? It'd be fantastic to know. What AI tools do you think companies are using today to automate their reports? The attendance is in this link where it states, hello, can you fill this attendance to access? Just click on the link and then you're able to fill the attendance, okay? Just go ahead to do that. So what AI tools? We're about to get into the interesting aspects. So let me just put our speaker on, so she can easily access the call once it is time. So what AI tools? I'm still waiting for all your responses. And it's fantastic. N8N is one of those tools. People who just joined can't see the attendance. All right, so I'm going to personally copy it and drop it. So that is the link for the attendance. All right, all right, all right, all right. So yeah, we have Zapier, we have Anytime. The good thing about these two tools is that they are uniquely close to each other and at the same time far from each other. Please just be taking note of all these names. It can be helpful for your next presentation or the next reports that you get to do. But then again, so we have key AI tools. There is N8N, there is Zapier. Zapier is for a lot more simple, how would I call it, workflow. But N8N is for a lot more technical workflows. This is what you'll be working with for the process. Okay, so you have reports. Have you ever, for Power BI, we worked for a fintech company. And one of the major things in fintech is they want to be seeing data. They want to see the reports updated in real time. Have you ever seen a report that you can automate in real time that will say, oh, this person just made 5,000 naira transaction. We want to see it in our big TV screen. And as the payments are coming in, it is updated. This is what companies are looking for at the end of the day. So those type of automated reports, some people would say, oh, no, make use of Google Apps Scripts if you're using the Google space. Some would say, oh, make use of N8N, make use of Zapier. There are just a lot of tools. And what you need to look at is your workflow. The workflow will determine, what these different tools are about, how you're able to collect your data at the end of the day. So there's N8N, there's Zapier, there's Google Apps Scripts, and so on and so forth. AI tools that companies these days, they expect staff to learn to be able to, get to their goal as soon as possible. Okay, so before we get started, I'm trying to bring up our student of today so that she can show you what she has been able to learn so far. And then we can move into that section. So Osasunwe, if you are here, please just raise your hand so that I can, make you co-host and we can go into your presentation so that people would see how you can use AI to analyze your you analyze the market search and also be able to automate your reports at the end of the day. So, someone, if you are here, if you join with a device that is different or is not named correctly, just raise your hand, click on the raise hand icon so that I can spotlight you and then we can have, conversations on this. Hi, Osasunwe. Or you can also even drop it in the chats so that I can see that you are on here. Okay. Hi, Osasunwe. Are you on the call? If you're on the call, just use a raise hand icon and I'll be able to spotlight you. Okay, let's see. I just got a chat request. Okay. Said I use AI for content creation. Yeah, very much so. You can use AI to create content, even from just writing scripts. There are lots of AI tools. If you know of Poppy AI can help you generate Poppy AI can help you generate different hooks, different captions that you can use at the end of the day to achieve your goal in terms of creating content or having your scripts all set up. There's Poppy AI, there's the script. There's so many tools, so many AI tools today. Okay, so for someone who wants to build a bot that can analyze the forex markets, which of the course can the person go for? AI automation engineering. Simple and straightforward, because that's what we are focused. And we had somebody that asked this question. I was able to still do it. One of our classes. When I had a conversation last month, someone asked, "Oh, how can I build a bot that can analyze the forex market?" AI automation engineering focuses on building bots end to end to be able to even do predictive analysis for you to know what would be a good fit, when you start looking at the forex, the trading system, you how to use AI for that. You can use AI automation. That would be your best course. So, Osasunwe, are you on the call? If you're not on the call, Uche, please can you reach out okay, I think she just joined. Hi, Osasu.
Good evening, everyone. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. I hope you had a good week.
Yeah, it was an interesting week. How about you?
Thank you was there. We thank God it had come to an end.
Yeah, glad that is the weekend period. All right. Thank you, Osasu, for joining. So just to give a bit of clarity, because people will be wondering who Osasu is. Osasu is one of our students, and she wants to show you what she has learned so far in class. And then so you can see in real time. It's not treasure coming to, I would say, cajole, for lack of a better word. We have someone that's been through the process and will show you what it looks like making use of artificial intelligence. So without further ado, the people want to know. So Osasu, I'll be handing over to you so that you can go ahead to, present, to make your presentation.
Yes. Thank you. If I can be
All
allowed
right.
to share my screen.
Okay. Hi, Uche, please can you make Osasu co-host?
Okay. So while we, okay, I think I can do that now. Give me a second. Let me find next one.
Okay, let me stop sharing so that you can do that as well. Okay. Let me spotlight your beautiful face so that everyone can see you. All right, Osasu, over to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, can you see my screen now?
Not yet. It's not up yet.
Okay. It should be up by now. Give me a second. Okay. Let me stop sharing my initiative. Just give me a second. Um,
Oh, you can see it. Tyra said they could see it. Okay, so let her just reshare
oh,
one
okay.
more.
Let me share again.
Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
All right.
All
So good
right.
evening, everyone. I won't be taking too much of your time. So before I go into my workflow, I just wanted to show you what what we are used to seeing on the chat because I'm going to be talking about a multi-agent. But before I go under the hood of what that multi-agent looks like, so if you are chatting with any chat system, this is what you see. It comes in various forms. For the platform we use at, or one of the major platforms we use at Ten Analytics, this is what the chat interface looks like. So if I interact with this now, it's actually talking to what I had built behind. So I'm going to be going to what is behind the hood, sort of. So this is the flow we are going to be looking at today. It's called a multi-agent. And for this particular one, it does market research. It also analyzes, it generates a report. So a lot of times, even before I joined, I used to wonder, why am I building an agent if I can just use ChatGPT, for example? It took me building one to understand what the difference is. If I go to ChatGPT, for example, if it's a new ChatGPT, maybe one I've not used before that doesn't have my history, I have to teach it about me, um, prepare the kind of prompts that I want to send to it. That's why we are learning prompt engineering and a lot of other prompts. Then before I get it to do exactly what I want it to do, and even when it does that, it just gives me the answer. It doesn't do anything with that answer. It doesn't analyze to the depth that you want to. Neither is it going to send you a report of that analysis. So what an agent does for you is you can build an agent that does all these things I have mentioned. And this is the kind of agent that I'm sharing with you today. So it is a multi-agent that can analyze. So let me expand this. That can research, can analyze, and it can generate your reports. So what this does, um, it receives a message. So when a chat message is received, so it receives a message. So you see where I started from was where you can send a message from. So you send a message from here, and you don't see all the things going on behind the hood, but this is what is going on. So you send a message to this, it passes through. This is what we call everything from the beginning here to the end. It's called a workflow. So you receive a message here, it goes through this process goes through everything here. So to give a bit of introduction to what you are seeing on the screen here, because when I saw this for the first time, it looked a lot technical, but when you start to familiarize yourself with it, you realize that it's not as techy as it all seems, because I knew nothing about any of these before I joined. So I would take it like you have an organization and you have a manager. That manager is responsible for delegating activities. So the person you call your manager is who this lead agent is. I mean, so that manager delegates to all these departments. And when they finish everything that they have been delegated to, they, they give the results back to this person who is the manager. So that's exactly what the system is designed to do. So if it comes here, when I put a question to this workflow, you are going to see how it actually goes. So if you are looking at something like this, you see how it goes from one place to the other to the other. That's how it tells you how the question that you are asking it interacts with the system. So let me get a text question and run through this workflow. So I have one prepped down here. Just going to copy that into the chat box. So the chat box that I showed when I just started, you have one also in the inside of anything. So for the purpose of this, we are going to be using the one inside. We can also use the one outside, but we are not going to see how these workflow interact with each other if I use the chat box outside it. So I have sent my question. So that was very fast, but we didn't catch them. But you can see where this green line is moving. So it moved from here. When you see a line that is thick like this, it means that it had gone through. Now, I said it was going to go to this lead agent that was the manager. So it had gone here, and you see that the first person is delegating to is a research agent. Why? Because before you analyze and you report, you need to have data from your research. So it's going first to the research agent, and they are tools that are tied to the research agent. So giving that a bit of a background, what makes an agent? So I'll go back here a bit to break down what makes an agent. This could be just ChatGPT, but we call it an agent. Why are we calling it an agent? Because apart from the brain, which we refer to as ChatGPT, it also has other things that are tied to it. So if I expand this a bit, we'll see that this line is going to a chat model. This chat model is like your ChatGPT. This also has a memory. What does this do? It just stores the information, some of the things that you're asking of it, instead of it always being, if there's no memory to this thing now, anything I'm doing now, if you ask a question of it in a minute after it has forgotten everything, then you can also see that it's tied to tools. So these agents under it can be referred to as tools. So this is why we call this an agent. And it's called a multi-agent because it's not just one agent that is in play. It has other agents that are tied to it. So any system that you see that has more than one agent is actually called a multi-agent. So the flow of this was that this went first to the research agent and he went on to do his research using the other tools that are attached to it. Then, second place he went to is to analyze this report. In this analysis side, you can see that there's a calculator here, there's a chart builder here. Then when he finished analyzing, then he goes to the report agent. So this is where he prepares the report. Under the code of this lead agent, I given to it. And that instruction is what tells it what to do with all these things that are tied to it. So if I set up this whole thing and I had not done my instruction, it's going to be catastrophic. In fact, you won't even see this flow. So you set it up, you give it the instruction, and that's why it's going through this workflow. So while it's still on the report agent, I think I have a few minutes to talk to us about some of these other lines that I are seeing that are tied here. So you can see this your research agent. What does it do? It goes into the internet to research. It just checks for information based on what you have given it. And one of the things it uses to go to research in the internet is this doc.co. I won't also go into details, but just to understand that there are tools that you give all your agents to be able to do what they do and do it well. This is a database. This may be a bit advanced for this class, but just understand that what this does is you see what we are doing here. Instead of it always being new knowledge, there's something that stores information on what we are doing here. This is what a database is. So I won't go too in depth into that. Then for the analysis agent, you can see the things that are tied to it. It has the LLM, it has a calculator. Why does it have a calculator? We have discovered, or over time it has been discovered that simple LLMs, which we refer to as ChatGPT and the rest, they sometimes hallucinate. That's the margin answer. They can give you an answer that is false, just based on anything. So what do we do to prevent it from thinking up an answer or just giving you a fictitious answer? We actually give it neutral tools to say, you know what, we don't want you to guess at these things that you are doing. Take these tools so that you are able to work. And that's why we have all these tools tied to it. And we have the report agent also. This just has the brain and the simple memory here. Then to go into more of these things, after everything is done, it's also configured that it sends a message back to whoever it is that has initiated the chat. So the rest of this workflow is it trying to go through this workflow to get to that part where it generates a report. What is this workflow expected to do? All these things that you see here, what we refer to as nodes, they have different application and they have different reasons. I won't bore us by going into the use of every single one, but just understand that for this workflow to go through, you need to understand the first thing you actually have to think about is what do I want to achieve? What can I use to achieve it? For me, these are the things that would achieve my end result. What is my end result? To generate a report into my Google Drive and also send an email about that same report. So that's basically what this whole system was. And one thing I used to be scared of when I started this thing was when you see green lines, it means everything is going well. Then when you see a red one, you are wondering something may be up here. So one of the things you have to get used to when building this thing is what we call debugging. What is debugging? I've learned a lot more from things that did not go well than things that went well. Because when it doesn't go well, it forces you to and go and check. What that you need to go and check. What is the problem? So you can see that this is red. Why is it red? Network affects it at times. It can be for any reason, but you can also see that even though you had a red here, it didn't stop the workflow. If you look at this my workflow, you're seeing green everywhere. The reason is because it's continuing from one place to the other. Now, if I go to my drive, you are going to see that it has also it has also generated a report. So the essence is not even really to look at what kind of report it generate. It's just to understand that you can set up a system that can do this. This system I set up for like a solar industry. It could be for anything. It could be research into any particular kind of industry. I can change whatever instruction I've given to this now for it to be solar, to become anything. And I can give this product to someone for use case. I can give it to in a commercial way to somebody to say, you know what, this is what this product can do. And it can be used for a multitude of other things. And as I've built this for this particular product, for this particular workflow, it can also be a multi-agent for any other thing. So I don't know if anybody has any question, and I've tried not to go too in depth so that it doesn't become a lot more confusing, but I'm open to answer any question that you may have.
All right. Thank you, Sasu. Can we see what the report looks like, in your drive?
Give me a second.
Yeah, while she's doing that, disclaimer for everyone. I know this was just a serious information overload. It's not easy to build this, but this is just a demo, okay? If you are going to the class, it will start from beginning. You're not going to create a complicated workflow like this, but we want to show you some of what you will be able to achieve, okay? Once you decide to go with any of the programs. So this is just a simulation of what that would look like at a more advanced state. But if you're coming into the program, you're going to be starting from scratch, i.e., what is AI? What is AI agents? And so on and so forth, before you start to build any workflows. Okay. All right. So we can see the reports. Osasu, over to you.
So this is the kind of report that you can get. You can get fancier than this by giving it instruction to say, you know what, I want you to use this kind of fonts. I want the layout to be this way. So it can be customized to anything that you want it to be. You can have tables, you can have charts, you can have basically anything you want. And that's another place where prompt engineering. So one of the things that is very, very important to learning this is also paying attention to your prompting. So a lot of your workflow will be as good as how you prompt it to be. So behind all those things that we call an agent are instructions. So how well have you told it what you want it to do is your prompt engineering. So that tells you that I can basically do anything with this report. I can make it 10 pages if I want to. I can I can make a chart. I can say I want a pie chart, I want a histogram or anything. So anything is actually possible with this kind of setup. So this is what it does. It also sends me an email. I won't open my email here. So it sends an email also into my mailbox. That's how I set it up. Could also set it up to go to anything else. It can be set up with an email. You can say, you know what, I want it to go into a Slack channel to notify me or Telegram or WhatsApp. So it can be anything here, but I chose this endpoint for my own workflow. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Osasu. Are there any questions? I know a lot of people have burning curiosity. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to drop your questions in the chat, use the raise hand icon, unmute and ask Osasu a question. Especially if you've even tried something like this before and you really didn't know how to go about it, or you're just interested on her process. It'll be a good time to get your questions out of the way. So if anyone has any questions, please go ahead, drop it in the chat, or just use the raise hand icon, unmute and have a conversation. This is a free and open practical space, so we can go through your questions as quickly as possible. But that being said, while we're waiting for questions, so this is very, 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 very impressive. Please, guys, let's show some love through reactions. It's not easy to get to this point. And then, okay, so I can see your question. I can see some questions rather. How can I be guided into a Forex AI bot? That would be a class kind of question because it's not a step by step. It's not something we can go end to end on this call. And the facilitator would need to go through that with you. But Omar said, what's your process like? I don't know, Sasu, do you want to take that? What's your process like?
So a lot of times they will say begin with the end in mind. Um, so when I started this, honestly, I didn't know what was going to be in the middle, but I knew what I wanted. So I'm like, I want something that does this and that and that. So what's my work? How can I get it done? That's my own personal process. How do I get from point A, which is you are taking the question, to point Z, which is the output that I just showed you. Once you have that, then you start your mapping. So you come across what they will tell you is mapping. Mapping is just basically sort of like a theoretical way of plotting your way from point A to Z. And by the time you do that, the rest of these things are plug and play. But before you start plugging, you need to understand what all these things are. These things are nodes, for example. What do they do? And beyond what you learn in the classroom, what will help the most is having your own natural curiosity to just go beyond. Um, we all know when we say they teach you maths and they ask you for that maths in exams and a lot of other things. So have that burning curiosity to also go and find out that, okay, I've been taught this node, this node, this node. What other things can I use in the middle? So that's basically my own process to getting something like this. And I'm still also learning and I'm hoping to also still do more. It's a curiosity thing mixed to it. I know what I want to achieve. Then the rest is my knowledge from class. I mix that with also doing my own research to think how best to achieve that result. I hope I did justice to that question.
Couldn't have said it better. That is like an amazing way to say, saying this process, how were you able to do it, the tools and oh, okay. I think the question is in regards to tools and what it takes to actualize this process.
Okay. So for the tools, um, again, it's actually very good to research because sometimes you are taught you can be taught with simpler tools. One of the reasons you are taught with simpler tools is they are easier to get by, they are cheaper to access. Sometimes they are also free. But you have to take your learning on your own beyond just the simple tools. So that's where research comes from. You go to research. There's a lot of avenues where you can get additional information. The important thing is what do these things do? This is an edit field, for example. It's a node, and behind it are a lot of things. What does it do? Is understanding what it does that makes you able to. So I'm going to open this, for example, and you can see that there's a lot of setting behind it. It's understanding what does this thing do? How do I set it up that helps me to know if this is going to be important to my workflow or not? So I understand this, I understand this, I understand every, virtually everything that is on this workflow. Once you understand what each one does, then you know how to interconnect, and that's how I choose my tools. So I will not go for the most expensive, I'll go for the most efficient. And it also comes from trial and error. You should be willing to just build by the side. So when you start learning, just start building. Anything, they're not going to tell you don't build up to five or something, just build. And don't be deterred when you start seeing a lot of red. Those are the things that teaches you this is not working. Why is it not working? So if I'm getting across with some things that are not working, those are the ways I say, okay, this did not work for this workflow. Let me find out why it's not working, and let me find something else that I can use to replace it. So those are the things that were behind all the tools that I chose to use and all the notes that I chose to use in this workflow.
All right. Thank you, Osasu. I think that's been very insightful. This is N10, by the way, guys. So you can connect N10 to different type of APIs, whether you're looking at emails, whether you're looking at Notion, whatever you want to connect, there is a whole list of things that you can work with when you are creating your workflow from start to finish, even from when you're trying to kick off the trigger process, and so on and so forth. In terms of the versions and payments, N10 has it's like a 14-day free trial where you can play with it, do whatever you want to learn. And the subscription is not even like on the high side. But you can also host it locally as well if you choose to do that. So there's just like a lot. If you're looking at more advanced technical workflows, N10 is your best bet. If you're looking for simpler workflows, you can use Zapier. Zapier can easily get those things done. But yeah, I think those are the questions that we can take for now. Thank you so much, Osasu. I am really, really glad on what you have achieved so far, and I know you're going to do a lot more. Thank you for taking out time to show us this process. Truly, truly appreciate it. And if there's any other questions, would also relay that to you. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have any other thing to say before we move into the next stage.
So thank you to everyone also for listening to me. Thank you to Analytics. A few months before this, I didn't know what all these were. And yeah, and I've been able to learn on the platform, so I'm grateful for that.
All right, fantastic. Please let's show some love with different reactions, thumbs up, confettis. It was an amazing 30 minutes thereabouts, going through these and also taking questions. So thank you so much. It was fantastic having you. And yeah, we wish you good luck on the amazing things you're gonna do going into the future. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so just okay, so let's move on. I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen and then we can continue to connect the dots. So, okay. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. So I know some of you have some more questions. We've talked about the technical aspects. How do you build all this thing? Now let's talk about money. How can you make money from this process? What is the job market saying right now, and where do you fit in? I'm a teacher, I own a business, I've not done anything tech in my life, I have never coded. What do I need to be doing at this point? Okay, so it's that time for that type of conversation. So I'm just gonna go ahead to share my screen and then we can get back into the conversation. Please ensure that you are filling the attendance form. It is very, very important. If you want to go back to watch what she did, if you have any questions, if you're just joining in, my colleague is dropping it in the chat. Just fill the attendance form. Okay? Say, can this automation produce software? Don't worry, just Taiwo, just stick to the end. We'll show you how you can build softwares, you can build apps, you can build websites, and you're not writing one single line of code, okay? But we'll get to that point. So, coming back to this, why are we even talking about AI in the first place? What's the hype around it? Why are people everywhere you turn AI? If you don't learn AI, your job is at risk. We say it every single day. Why is it important? Okay, so we looked at the Future of Job Reports 2025, and this is one of the most regarded I'll call it institution, the World Economic Forum. They were the one who brought about this report. There are certain roles that are going to increase by the year 2026, 2027, 2030, thereabouts. And there are also certain roles that are going to decline. So now the question is, when this wave happens, what side of the spectrum do you want to be? Do you want to be on the side where you're going to possibly grow? Or do you want to phase out and become obsolete as one of those roles that made their mark in certain times in life, but right now is not just as important? Okay, so looking at the Future of Job Reports, there are two things that stand out as top skills that you need to have. And they include data skills and you also have AI skills. And why is that? Without data, you can't do anything in a company, in an organization, even in school, because the information that you get to learn is data. Okay. If you're looking at growing a business, you need data. That's the only way you can go from point A to point B. And that is from the foundational aspects. These are one of the key things you need to get started. And the next best thing for you is AI skills. Why? Because AI is now. It's not the future. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. It is right now. Because artificial intelligence essentially helps a business be more productive without spending money. And this is what businesses thrive on. Okay. If I can cut down my budget, cut down my expenses by 50%, trust me, I am jumping on that in a very split of a second. So businesses are moving towards that direction. I know throughout last year, one of the major requests for training we're getting was AI training. And I'm not even talking about small companies. These are top organizations. Oh, we want to get AI training for our staff. They need to know how to use AI because it is a way for them to cut down on cost. So if you are saying, oh, I'm not, I don't need AI at this point, I'm really sorry because that is where the world is getting to at this point. And this is not just in Africa, it is globally. If you have been dreaming, oh, I want to earn in dollars, I want to earn in pounds, does your understanding, does your skill sets, does your skill arsenal reflect that? That's the question you actually need to be, thinking about end to end. So this is why AI skills has become so important to companies because it's a way for them to be cost effective, still be more productive, and also have their staff be as efficient as possible. Looking at the reports, we were able to see that there are certain cadres, certain, job opportunities, job titles that are growing. And these are, if you're looking at data and AI skills, you have big data specialists, you have fintech engineers, AI and machine learning, software developers. You see that they're on the top of the food chain. Even HR, every single day there is an application, there is a job opening. You have more than 1,000 job openings coming up every single day across the world. Okay, that is why it's another important skill set. Then you have business analysts. Every single day you see a new startup, a new fintech startup, a new edtech startup, a new business, catering business, and so on and so forth. So this is potentially going to help those type of individuals because now you're looking at processes, now you're looking at operations, you're looking at the business from start to finish, and you're providing solutions. And this is where AI, HR analysts, business analysts will all thrive in. The next one we have is project managers. Project managers being in the PM space, one thing I love about it is every single day there's a project. If you know, even a marriage, a wedding rather, is a project. Your life from start to finish is a project. The entirety of what you've been doing so far, you're running a project because there's a start date and there's an end date. Okay. It's supposed to be temporary, it's supposed to be towards a goal. So every single thing, sort of revolves around these key skills. And this is why we're looking at it end to end. Okay. So if you're looking at getting started in these different processes, especially for getting jobs, there is a special cheat code, what I call the job market cheat code. People think that, oh, transitioning to tech is just the way that they make money or earn money, and it is such a magical situation. I start today, I start to earn money today. Please let nobody deceive you. It is not a rosy process. It is not you do now, you get your results right now. But you need to think long term. You need to think of it as an investment. But when you're doing that investment, you are being very smart with your steps. Okay. Once I finished school or while I was still in school, I knew rather that like I had to start positioning myself for greatness. Well, lack of a better word, that's what I would call it, positioning myself for greatness. So what do I need to do? There are simple things. I am looking for project manager roles. The very first thing is nobody would hire a project manager that doesn't necessarily have the skills of a PM at the end of the day. And this is me using myself as a case study. Okay. If I don't have the skills, nobody's going to hire me. Okay. So you are a teacher, a lawyer, you're a doctor, and so on and so forth. You want to stay in your current career pathway. Fantastic. You can always grow there. But you need to know that there are new industry trends that you need to learn, which is AI oriented. But if you're looking to transition into tech, one of the things you should be looking at is how can I get the skill? Okay. How can I get the skill that I'm very for at the end of the day? I don't know which of them to go for. AI engineering, data analyst, I don't know. But now it's not going to be on doing a psychoanalysis of your own self. What do I enjoy? I'm the type of person that I can easily communicate. You can have me speaking to you for hours. Once I walk into a room to handle meetings, it is different because I know how to converse with people. I know how to lead projects. I know how to lead teams. And this is something that I've learned about myself from a very young age. But there are certain individuals that want to do things back end, and kudos to them, because people that work back end are supernatural human beings. You do all the messy work, and all I have to do is, have conversations with people and so on and so forth. You need to know where your strengths are, and you also need to know what works best for you. So once you're able to understand that process, now you understand where you're going. You have a direction. Once you have a direction, you need to learn to be able to build on what you currently have. Okay. So I want to get into project management. So that means I need to have skills. What type of skills? I need my PM skills. Talking about things like, oh, I need to understand how it would be to run the entire project life cycle, how it would be to talk to stakeholders, how it would be to set up my project plan. What are the necessary steps I need to take? I need to know those information. Once I have it handy and I am good at it, I cannot now say, oh, that makes me a project manager. Nobody would listen to me. It's like you coming out of the university and saying, I have a certificate, hire me. That is what makes me worthy. No, there are other things that individuals are very, very critical about, which is, what have you done before? People like testimonials. A lot of you on this call, the major reason why you'd register for any of our program is through hearsay. Okay. Let's say I have a friend who took the program. It was a phenomenal time. You go ahead to register based off that. Or you go through our YouTube page, you see all the testimonials. Oh, I was able to get a job. That is why you register. Because you need to know that this actually works. And that's the same with companies. They need to know that you actually work at the end of the day, because this is an investment for them. So that is why your portfolio, your project portfolio, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, and so on and so forth. If you are going into for a new case, they would like to see your track record. Oh, how many times have you lost a case? How many times have you won a case? That's the reason why somebody high-end will say, okay, let's use this lawyer. He has a strong track record. He has never lost a case before. And you see that this person is charging over $1 million just because he knows that once he steps into a room, he's going to win. People need to see that track record. And that is why we also look at things like your portfolio. You need to build it. Another thing that is super important when it comes to the job market is branding. Branding, it is so important. How you brand yourself. I can't be looking for the CEO of a company and you look a certain way, you talk a certain way, you don't have the necessary skills to back up yourself. It's very important to package the way you speak, package the way you look, and so on and so forth. Before people even get to know who you are, once you step into a room, they analyze you from head to toe. How does this person look? What are they wearing? How do they smell? These are like very minute things, but can make a whole difference in terms of how you command the room. And that is just in a physical setting. Bringing it online where you have your digital footprint every single day in terms of the activities you have ongoing, in terms of things that you're doing, how are you branding yourself? Do people even know that you are working as a lawyer at this point? Because you never talk about anything in relation to it. This could even be something as simple as your WhatsApp status. When have you ever posted any of the projects that you worked on? I know some of the things might also be confidential. So there are limits to how you can get across, but there are also ways to structure information that protects you and your company. Okay. So in AI space, in the tech space, one key thing they ask for is your projects. They need to see what you've done. I need to see the projects you've worked on. Every time you try to hire a software dev or a graphics designer, please send me your portfolio. Let me see the work that you've done so far. And this is why it's very, very important that on your LinkedIn profile, when we even talk about LinkedIn, some people would crash out and say, oh, Treasure, I don't know what to post on LinkedIn. See, that's why you need AI for content creation. Because if you have AI, it will basically help you with posts in terms of content, in terms of captions, in terms of how your video, your picture should look like. You have artificial intelligence for that. Okay. So when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, you are going for an AI automation engineering role. I don't see any AI workflow. I don't see any AI agent. You've never created anything on that. And you expect that magically a recruiter will reach out to you and say, oh, Julius, you're a good fit. We need you in our company. No, see, Muhammad will not go to the mountain. You need to go to Muhammad. You need to fight for what will make you better. And how do you do that? You have to be very aggressive in terms of how you post about what you do. Okay, it will kind of translate to people that, oh, when I think about projects manager, who is the first person that I would think of? Oh, Treasure. Treasure always talks about this. This is the first person I'll contact. If people cannot think about certain concepts and your name does not come up, you are not positioning yourself correctly. This is where LinkedIn comes in. Your headline, AI automation engineering, is not there. When you're talking about yourself, you don't highlight your achievement, the project you've worked on. That needs to be stated there. Every single time that you can make a post about projects you've worked on, go ahead to make posts. When you see conversations going on in terms of like, oh, the CEO of Google is talking about certain things, if that's your company of choice, target top officials, target the C-suite individuals. Once they make a post, you comment on it. Not, oh, this is insightful, this is exciting. No, make sure that your comment itself is very technical sounding. You don't sound like every other person. You should always try to differentiate yourself from every other person on the internet. And that is the only way you can be your own, shine your own special light. Okay. So once you look at your LinkedIn, another thing is being aggressive in networking. Oh, reach out to people. State that, oh, I saw your website. I have an AI tool that would essentially help you take your website to where it needs to be with good users. And people will wonder, oh, Treasure, how are you able to land roles in Canada, UK? Does the visa sponsorship thing not affect you? Trust me, that is just the one job you see out of 10,000 applications that I have done in the course of my life. Okay. But what really got me to where I needed to be was not saying that, oh, they keep declining and that's it. It's looking at, oh, this is not working. What do I need to be strategized to? Reaching out to founders and saying, I can handle your project and I can essentially get it to cut down your delivery rate time to just 2 months if your project is 3 months. And I have effective ways to do it. That's where my portfolio will speak for itself. And the funny thing about these foreigners is they love results. If they've seen that you're able to give them results, they get to, on a call with you, have a conversation with you. Most often than not, you have a possible turnout out of it. Okay, that is why targeting, having relationship with strong decision makers can also be the deciding factor for you. Okay, and then they actually send me your resume. Okay, let's have a conversation. Send me your resume. And your resume is nothing to write home about. You're not ready. That is why tailoring your resume is also super important. You cannot be applying for an AI automation engineering role. I'm seeing things like, oh, I was able to, market things, or I was able to sell. That's not the bone of contention. Make sure that your resume speaks to the specific requirements that they're requesting for. If they're requesting someone with 5 years of operational experience, they want to know that you've been able to create 5 different workflows for an e-commerce company. You need to make sure that your resume aligns. Your resume, you should be the answer to their prayer. Whatever they are stating is a question. Your resume should be the answer. If your resume is not the answer, forget it. It's not going to be a good fit. Sometimes you wonder why every time you apply for a role, you're getting, oh, hello, thank you for applying. Unfortunately, once you just say unfortunately, you are not moving forward. It is most often than not AI, because even HR at this point makes use of AI. So these are some of the things that you need to look at. So your resume, optimizing your LinkedIn, your portfolio, learning, having a strong community. Okay, strong community of people that have the same goals and objective with you would ensure that you stand a higher chance of actually landing a role at the end of the day. So these are things that you should be focusing on when you are looking to get to that desired goal for any activity or any career pathway you are looking to transition. Okay, so let's move into the next conversation of today. So what you need to do to get that job at the end of today is learn. You cannot do anything without learning, because they cannot carry a doctor to the operation room and say, oh, cut on, perform a surgery. You actually need to know what to do. So you actually need to learn the skill. It is a new year. When we got into this year, a lot of people had goals and objectives. Well, it's January just started, but trust me, we're halfway into it. This is the fastest January I've ever been in. But we're halfway into January. What have you done so far? What are the necessary skills that you're currently picking up? So please go ahead to learn that skill that can take you to don't wait. Don't say, I'll do it in February, I'll do it in March, I'll do it.
Procrastination will never get you to where you need to be. If you can do something now, do it now. So learn. After you've learned, the key important thing is package. Package your story, package who you are. Packaging covers your portfolio, it covers your LinkedIn profile, it covers even your WhatsApp status. How do people see you? Once they have conversations, what do they think about you? How do you sound in meetings? When they ask questions, are you the one that just keeps quiet and never says something and be like, oh no, I don't want to talk? Oh, no, no. I used to say you are too broke to be quiet. To be very honest, we are all too broke to be quiet. If you have the opportunity to speak yourself or talk yourself into being the vice president of a country, please use your mouth to be your own blessing at the end of the day. So you need to package yourself, then you need to start applying. But you're not applying in the sense that, oh, you're just shooting misfire, oh, apply to this job. No, you need to be very strategic with your application. And that is why you need to check your compatibility score with a particular job. Now, LinkedIn already has that feature, but there are certain roles that you still don't see. So while applying, oh, I'm focusing on projects manager roles, look at niche roles, okay? You know that the general projects manager roles and they are niche one. Because you see some that says creative projects manager, marketing projects manager, software projects manager, and there are some that will just say projects manager. Target niche roles. It is easier to convert niche roles than to convert a generalized role. So apply for strategic roles. That gives you a better chance. And at the end of the day, network. Network with people. Your network is your network. That's a saying. That's a proper saying. The people you know can determine how you get jobs. Okay, so if people don't even know what you have to do or what you have to offer to them, you just lose your chance at the end of the day. So it's very, very important that you network. So these are some of the steps that can actually help you land a job. And this is a very important saying. People say, oh, no, it's not true. It's not possible. I'm very sure the person that created the airplane, they will tell him that, you are crazy. Why would you say that's possible? But until it's done, everybody's going to say it's impossible. So let's see some of the success stories of some of our students that have gone through the program and what they've been able to achieve. We have so many. Like I said, we have helped over 2,000 people in the last 5 years. So these are individuals, care worker who was able to transition to a full business analyst. You have a pharmacist. That's why I'm telling you that your current industry does not matter. If you don't want to transition, it's fine. You can use AI to upskill where you are. But if you're looking to transition, you can make use of any of the course to transition out of where you are. So pharmacist who is now a full, take that again, a full benefits analyst. That is why even data analysis is just a generalized name. There is financial analyst, there's marketing analyst, benefits analyst, people analyst, and it's all from the cut out from data analysis. So these are some of the titles that you should be looking for. Then this guy, Benga, was able to get a role as a business data analyst. You have Nathaniel, who got a job as a full-on data scientist. Abdul Rashid, who lives in Nigeria, became a full-time data scientist for a company in the US. And that's what a lot of us are striving. Work here in Nigeria, but you're working for a company in the US. So these and many more. We have so many testimonials to get started. So now let's talk about some of the top AI courses that you need to learn that can help you with any of the goals. So we have about 6 of them, and we didn't pick them at random. Trust me. These are all courses that are going to grow between now and the future. There are AI for content creation, there's vibe coding, there's AI automation engineering, there's generative AI for data analysts, generative AI for HR analysts, and then you have generative AI for business analysis and projects managers. Okay, so let's talk about each of them so that you can get a lot more clarity. Please, if you've not been paying attention, this is a very important part to pay attention. So we have AI for content creation. When it comes to content creation, a lot of people right now are doing influencer marketing. They are trying to grow their business. You are a business owner. You even work for a company. What does content creation have to do for you? Content creation is a way of brand positioning at the end of the day. If you're a digital social media manager or not, you can also sell your brand. You can sell yourself. You can sell your niche. I was speaking to a friend late last year, and I'm like, I don't want to have to post on Instagram. Instagram is not my thing. I prefer LinkedIn. And he told me, Treasure, you are too broke to be hidden. Talk about what you do as a project manager. Create a niche for yourself. I don't know what to post on Instagram. I don't feel it has my type of audience. I'm pretty much very serious. Professional, professional, and professional. Yes, but even in professionalism, there are lighter ways to pass across information. So to even kickstart, each of these different platforms has a style that works for them. Twitter is more word-based. LinkedIn is a lot more serious. Instagram is very light-hearted. So even Instagram works better with videos. Pictures does work sometimes, but most often than not, videos do better. For you to analyze this and say, oh, for me, I want to start creating educational PM content. What platform would work best for me? AI can do the analysis. But what do you need to start with? You need to know how to prompt. Feed AI the entire case study. This is my case study. This is my life. This is what I want to work with. So okay, now that I've informed you the process, what can I do about it? Okay, so AI does the analysis, tells you the best platform to kickstart, creates a whole roadmap between now and December. And you can always iterate on the process. Oh, I started posting on LinkedIn and I'm not getting the type of reaction that I want to get. What do I need to do next? Okay, so you can use artificial intelligence in your content creation process because we have 3 stages. There is pre-content, your pre-video, you have your video posting, then you have your post-content. When it comes to pre-content, you're looking at things like script writing. Oh, Treasure, I don't know what hook. I made a post. I don't know what caption will captivate people. Or even the start of the video. What should I do? Okay. AI can do that for you. AI can give you different templates that you can work with that makes you even unique. You can put in your favorite creators information. If you know Poppy AI is a fantastic AI tool for that. You put in all the information, it will generate hooks, it will generate caption, it will generate your script for you, how you even need to position yourself, whether you need to be smiling when you're saying a particular thing, you need to be serious faced, and so on and so forth. This goes into your pre-content creation. When you shoot your videos, in terms of editing the videos, you want to have a different type of lighting, you want to have making your video pop, you want to put in animations, and so on and so forth. AI can do that. Even with Adobe itself now already has those AI added into it. You want to do from speech to text or text to speech, as the case may be. There are a lot of AIs that can help you get that done. You want to start creating a podcast, you don't know how to start it. Oh, Treasure, I want to get into influencer marketing. I don't know where to start from. The influencers that are posting right now, they started one day, but right now you have more access to better information than they did. A lot of content creators right now is just repurposed content. You are making use of AI to create the same type of content, but putting your own unique spin on it. So if you're looking to get into AI, video creation, content creation, we have an AI process that can help you achieve your goals faster. You want to build a YouTube channel that is specifically for education, we can do that for you. So we'll be teaching you things like making use of tools like N8N, there's 11 Labs, there's Midjourney, Copilot, and so on and so forth. We'll show you the entire flow, how you can create AI videos. I have a current colleague right now who is creating videos that he only took a picture of his face, put in his voice into it, and then all the videos that are being created has his voice, has his face, mimics his facial expression, but he's not the one creating the video. Do you get it? So content creation is a lot more easier at this point. If you're looking to create reels, AI content workflows and so on and so forth, and build a portfolio to show other content creators or even influencers that are looking to hire what they can do, this is the best course for you to go for. Okay, so the first one we have is AI for content creation. The next one we have is called vibe coding. As the name implies, it is coding based on vibes. Nothing stressful, no need to go learn JavaScript and the rest of the likes. All you need to know right now is the tools. Once you know the tools, you're able to create a website, you're able to create an application without writing one single code. You just need to know how to make use of the tool. If you are familiar with tools like Replit, Relum, all you need to do is learn how to prompt. Prompting properly. the coding is done by the AI itself. So once you prompt, oh, I want to be able to build a website that sells clothes, specific type of clothes, kids' clothes, we'll be able to cash out. It also connects to a financial services where I can receive payments. And so you create your own website. You boycott a whole software developers. A lot of software developers at the moment are making use of AI in their coding. They no longer stress themselves. So even if you are on that bandwagon, you can also use it for your business end to end. So we have this vibe coding, creating, we will be able to create application, websites, and not writing code at all. Okay. So any of the programs that you're going for is starting from scratch. Because I saw some in the chat, someone was asking, oh, this is a lot of information. Please don't be scared. It is beginner friendly. So whatever we're going to go through, we'll start from the beginning right up into the advanced aspects of the class. So AI for vibe coding, you'll be starting from scratch. You'd learn the different code base, you'd learn the different information, and then you get right into it. Okay. So the next one we have is AI automation engineering. This particular one, it looks at your tasks, activities, every single thing that you do over and over again that is tiring. I wake up every morning, I send out emails, I schedule my activities. Oh, I do research. You don't have to worry. You saw the entire workflow that Osasu was able to create. You can create a workflow like that. And the beautiful thing is, if Osasu wants to sell that workflow, she can sell it as a product. One thing that we very heavily on is not just learning these skills. It's great to learn. How can you monetize it? There are 4 ways. Is either you're getting a full-time job, you're getting a contract role, you are selling the workflow that you create as a product, or you're teaching any of the tools that you learn. And one way, the money must come out, the money must click. And this is what we look at. So you go through the foundation of AI automation, you learn things like your large language models, that's what LLM stands for, AI agents, AI workflows. Then we start to look at prompt engineering. You look at how you can create a chatbot, how you can create a voice AI agent. If you want to do a bot that can predict, someone has been asking over and over again in terms of the Forex market, this is where you are going to shine. This is where you're going to focus on, because this is where we focus on bots, how to connect your bot to different workflows at the end of the day. Would also look at things like voice AI agents. If you've ever wondered how Siri of the Mac ecosystem functions, trust me, you're going to be creating your own Siri for your own website. And this is what we'll be looking at end to end. But one thing to note is that every single week you are going to be working on a project. It is not just you learning. You can go to YouTube to learn. But if you actually want to get the skills, we need to make sure that your hand is strong. As Nigerians would say it, we need your hand to be strong. So that is why we'll look at you working on projects every single week. Okay. So the next one we have is generative AI for data analyst and then HR analyst. For data analyst, a data analyst looks at cleaning data, analyzing data, being able to tell stories with data, which is phenomenal because you're using tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL. Great, fantastic. But now you have AI tools that can do everything that you're doing in less than 5 to 15 minutes. And that is why a lot of those jobs are asking, oh, do you know how to make use of AI tools? Because one will take a data analyst 8 hours, a day, 3 days, 5 days. You are doing it in what? 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how large the data set is. And that is why at this point, an AI data analyst earns more than a data analyst, even in an entry-level role. You want to learn how to write queries, you can use artificial intelligence to be able to do that as well. Okay, so this is what we'll focus on end-to-end in generative AI for data analysis. Then for HR analyst, yours is very interesting. You want to hire for a role, okay? And then you have over 5,000 applicants. You want to create a workflow that can screen the 4,990 people, send them the unfortunately email, and then your top 10 candidates, send them an interview invite. So you don't need to be looking at resumes over and over again. You have a system that can do that for you end to end. And this is what AI can do in the HR analytics space. You can also do it performance monitoring. You want to do your KPIs. You want to do metrics for individuals. You want to give quarterly bonus. You can use AI to analyze different activities of each particular staff. AI is not here to play. It is here to make your work as simple as possible. It would go through the HR data sets and be able to get results at the end of the day. The final one we have is AI for business analysis and project managers. Why we put these two together is essentially because they're very closely related. Business analysis, you're looking at your business end to end, okay, from start to finish. You are able to look at the business and state, oh, this is why this business is not performing as it used to. Let's say you're making 5 million naira in profit in 2024. You made 2 million naira in profit in 2025. You need to understand what you did wrong in 2025. Or what was the issue? Is it an operational issue? Is it a people issue, and so on and so forth? But for you to get to the bottom, you do something what we call root cause analysis. It would help you analyze the information, get the necessary details you require, and be able to let you know what the next steps are. This is what you can use artificial intelligence to do so easily. Looking at the project management space in itself, projects are supposed to be short, are supposed to get to a particular goal. So what you do as a project manager, you want to create your Gantt chart, you want to create your RACI matrix, and so on and so forth. You can use artificial intelligence to get these templates done. That is why something that would take you 6 months, you're getting it done in 5 months, 5 months and 15 days, and the owner of the product is so happy. Artificial intelligence gets you to that point. But if you're interested in project management, you just need to know that it is a very front-facing role. It would require you having conversations with people, both internal and external stakeholders, but it is also super lucrative. So just to note, for all the 6 courses I have mentioned, every single week you're working on a project. We don't play with that. Projects are very important so we can gauge your skill level, and if there's anything that we need to work on, we sort that out as soon as possible. So these 5 or 6 programs I've talked about, we take the classes strictly on the weekend. So classes are strictly on the weekend, and it's a 2-month program. When I say 2 months, that is 8 weeks. It will start off February 7th to wrap up March 28th. So classes, we have Saturdays and Sundays. So classes start 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and on Sundays, you have 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So for whatever reason, if you miss class, because classes are going to be virtual, just like I'm speaking to you right now, you have your facilitator also talking to you. If you miss class, you'd always have access to the recording. So you'll be able to watch over, oh, what did the person do? You would pause if you need more time to get clarity on information. And if peradventure you don't still understand, you can always reach out to the facilitator, either on the group. You can send a message on the group and state, oh, I need assistance, or you can reach out directly to the facilitator. So we'd have a Google Classroom set up. We'd also have a WhatsApp group where you can ask questions. So you can do it on any of these platforms. So just to ensure, because we want to be holding your hands. A lot of people are beginners in this state. We want to hold your hand all through the process. That is why you'd always have access to the facilitator. Apart from that, we'll be having support sessions. We have support sessions on Tuesday evenings and on Thursday evenings. These are optional classes, but if it's very important that you also join, because you get to learn about the issues that other participants are having. And if you have any questions, you can also ask. Mentorship session will focus on some of the key things that I have been talking about, the employability aspects of it. So this is what we'll look at achieving. Apart from training, these are other value-added services you are getting. We'll look at optimizing your CV. We'll also look at your LinkedIn profile, how to help you set it up. In terms of the jobs for these different roles, because some people say, I'm not AI automation engineering roles. Trust me, there are thousands of them. So also be putting you through in terms of the different job opportunities. And once you're able to land an interview, you can schedule an interview preparation session with the facilitator, and they'll prepare you for that particular interview. If you require any job reference letter, we can also offer you that. If you finally get the job, we'll also provide you support, because once you're done with the program, it is not bye-bye. We have an alumni group where we also provide updates. There'll be weekly mentorship session. And if you're not coming from the full-time job role, you want to get freelancing contracts, we have Upwork and Fiverr to also set you up on and show you how you can get these different contracts. So these are some of the other value-added services that we'll be offering in this program. So, important question is, Treasure, how can I start today? If you want to start today, our next cohort is starting 7th of February 2026. Okay? Because during this cohort, currently we're offering a specific gift. And this is it. for all the programs that we have, the original price for the program is 250,000 naira. But for the first 20 people on this call, okay, we've been having this conversation for the past, a week now. We had 20 slots as of then. Right about now, we just have 12 slots. Okay, we're currently giving a 40% discount. So instead of you paying 250K, you'll be paying just 150,000 naira discounted price. But once the discounted price is over, the price is reverting back to 250,000 naira. So if you have 150,000 naira, you can lock in your slot today. But then again, we understand the situation of the country, it's not as easy. If you cannot pay the full price, you can also opt for installments plan. So looking at the installments plan, the first one is 75,000. You're paying it right now. The second installment, this should be updated, would be in first week in March. So you're either making your first payment of 75,000 now, or you're paying the second installment by first week in March, 75,000 naira. The good thing is, if you are on this call, okay, Church, I don't have 75,000 naira, I don't have 150,000 naira, but I still want to be able to benefit from these discounts. I won't be able to pay 250K. There is a third option. The third option is this night you go ahead to lock in your slot with 40,000 naira to hold your spots down, so that when you come back next week, next 2 weeks, we're not saying it's 250K, there's still going to be discounted price of 150K. You lock it down with 40K, and then you balance your 35,000 naira before start of class by 7th of February. You have that option as well. But like I mentioned, the discount was only supposed to cover first 20 people. Right now, we have just 12 slots left. And once 12 slots wrap up, that's about that. So if you want to register, just go ahead to make payment to this account details. And then you should be able to register for the program. Once you make payment to the account details, then there's a form for you to fill. Please ensure that you fill the form, and then you should be good to go with the registration process. I would reiterate it again. I don't want someone to come to my DM and say, oh, Treasure, please, 250K, I won't be able to do it. 150K right about now, but it is very limited. And not to stress anyone, but that is what we can offer at this point. If you can't pay that, there's 75K to pay. If you can't pay that, just lock in with 40K right now, and then you're making your balance later. Okay, so once you're done with the training, just know that you are going to be getting this certificate, and it's not a Shere certificate. It is an internationally recognized certificate. That means you can use the certificate anywhere in the world, and you stand a chance to actually land a foreign role compared to a local certificate. You can see it is registered in Canada and is also accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So tell me what you're waiting for. If you need further clarity on anything that I have said so far, please raise your hand, or you can put your questions in the chat, and I would go ahead to respond to your question. I feel like we've been talking for so long, and I need to hear other people speaking and not just myself. So if you have any question at all, there is no stupid question. You can put your question in the chat, or you can use the raise hand icon so that I can see you, and then we take your question. Want to use the next 19 minutes to go through your concerns. If you're trying to make payments, it's not going through. We can resolve all that right now. Please, you're not clear about the particular course you want to go for, just let me know, raise your hand, and then we'll have a conversation right now, right here. So let's have it, guys. Let's have it. You've been up and active since. Let's keep the energy going so far. So if you have any questions, please use the raise hand icon, and then I will take your questions. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, use the raise hand icon, and I'll be able to take your question. Or you can drop your question in the chat, whichever one works best. We have over 40 people on the call. So let's take your questions, and we would move on from there. So, guys, if you're still here, give me a thumbs up, so I know that we still have people on this call. If you're still here, please go ahead to give me a thumbs up. Hi, everyone. If you're still here, okay, Mubarak is still here. Okay. All right. So if you have any question, please put it in the chat. If you want to go ahead to make payments, the account details is already on the screen. So you just need to pay to the Kuda account details. All the necessary information is also in the chat. If you need me to clarify on things that I've said so far, also let me know, and then I would take your questions. You can raise your hand. Let me just make sure I'm not missing out on anyone. You can either go ahead to raise your hand or put your question in the chat, and I'll take it up from there. So let me see. Okay, I'm just getting thumbs up, thumbs up. So no one has a question. We have Abolaji, we have Mubarak, Adiola, Samuel, Aliu, Lovette. If you have a question, please put it in the chat or you raise your hand. Okay. Maurice said, I'm a quantity surveyor. Which one of these AI areas can I pick interest in? Okay, Maru, fantastic question. So in that regard, I would say your best bet would be AI automation engineering, because why I really like that is it doesn't focus on any specific industry and you're able to get value for your time. I'm not saying others don't give you value for your time, but for you specifically, you're going to be able to get value for your time in terms of the activities you're going to be doing on a day-by-day basis. So everything that you currently do that is repetitive, you can create a workflow for it that you can essentially use to get your activities done faster and you'll be a lot more productive. You can create workflows for that. You can connect it to different APIs. You can create bot systems that can also help you. So this would help you in your current place of work. And the good part is you're not just limited to, oh, what I do every single day. You have the option of also going to automate other workflows for other individuals. You can be able to learn a full-on contracts role as an AI automation engineer. Okay, as an AI automation engineer, you can work for different industry, and that is why the value on the course is so high. Okay, so AI automation engineering would be a good fit for you to get into because you are building LLMs and you are also looking at AI agents end to end. So Maruf, please let me know if this answers your question. If you need further clarity, you can put more questions in the chat and I would respond. Yeah, I would respond to them. The next one is Noye says, what's the difference between vibe coding and AI automation engineering? Phenomenal question. Okay, so vibe coding in itself, it is coding without without writing a line of code. That means you're focusing on the AI tools. So in terms of creating websites and creating applications, what a developer should be doing, you'll be able to do that making use of AI tools. So you're not coding with actual codes, you are coding with the use of prompts. Okay, so you're prompting the AI tools to be able to achieve your goals and objective. Oh, I want to create a website where I'm selling clothes or which distinguishes between left and right. You just need to be able to prompt the two effectively and to end up creating a fully functional website for you or a fully functional application for you. So that's for vibe coding. But AI automation engineering in the simplest format, what it means is workflow automation specialist. What that looks at end to end is activities, a lot of repetitive activities you are doing every single day, every single time that takes up a lot of your time. What can you use AI to do to automate those processes? That is what you focus on here. So you're looking at things like, oh, is it sending an email? Oh, is it scheduling? Or is it research? Whatever thing you do every single time. Or is it creating a curriculum if you're in teaching space? Or is it like looking at diagnosis if you're in the medical line? Or is it trying to understand the different type of diseases if you're in the public health space? What do you do every single day? It looks at that and automates the tasks using AI agents. You can also do that using bot system. You can do that using voice AI agents as well, or multi-AI agent system, looking at what Osasu just presented. So this is the key difference. Vibe coding, you are creating websites and application using AI tools instead of actual code base or coding. AI automation engineering, you are looking at repetitive tasks, how to automate it. So these are the key difference between both of them. So if you are looking for which one to go for, like I mentioned, if you're looking to be able to create websites and apps, vibe coding will be a better fit for you. If you are looking to be able to automate things that you do every single day that takes a lot of time, it takes me 5 hours to get done, AI automation engineering will be a better pick for you. Atta, I don't know if this answers your question. If not, let me know and I'll provide further clarity. Okay. Xiaomi said, I am an account officer. What course can I go for? See, for an account officer, all the courses are great. I'll say except HR analysis, because that's a more niche role. But for an account officer, AI for data analytics is your best bet. Why? Okay. For account, I just want to clarify, if you're saying account officer, you have when I say different accounts that you're currently running or currently handling. So you have data that you're working with. So if I want to do an analysis on my best client so far, I need to look at, oh, how much income, how much profit has the person been bringing to the organization? The only way to do that is look at the volume of someone's mic unmuted, the volume of the job offering that the person has, how much they've been bringing the company, what's the relationship so far, and so on and so forth. Once I'm able to do that, I'll be able to draw out proper analysis, be able to understand what the key insight is. You'd also even be able to recommend, these are things that we need to do going into the new year that can get you more money. So AI in data analysis looks at data end to end, regardless of the type of data, whether financial data, whether marketing data, whatever the case is looking at it and then being able to bring out stories, bring out major key information that can help the business grow. So AI in data analytics would be a very, very good fit for you to go into. Okay. So Jami, I don't know your name. Please, if you could let me know if that's clear. Just go ahead. The next person says, I'm a civil engineer with more than 15 plus years, which would be the best fitted for me. So I will still go back to AI automation engineering. That is a good fit, unless you're looking to transition out of civil engineering to something more, what's the word now? More tech focused. Then you can go for, vibe coding or data analysis, as the case may be. But for what you are doing, what can help you in your current space and also help you grow is AI automation engineer. Okay, so iPhone says, my name is this. Thanks for the class. I had more understanding. I want to know the trying. I want to know if the trying can help me. I had this opportunity last year in the UK for an online job called Prolific, but is it data or date is somehow hard for me. And more of the reason I'm joining the group. So I want to know I'm so sorry, the words are not connecting correctly. If I have chose a right course, which is AI and data analysis, absolutely. You just highlighted in your explanation that, one of the key things they asked you for was being able to work with data. See, data in itself could be a very tricky something because you are making use of typical tools like Excel, Power BI, SQL. And before you go through things like, oh, clean the data sets, cleaning data sets is a work in itself. Okay, so you clean data sets, you analyze the data sets, you are now creating pivot tables. Oh, you now start to create dashboard, a nice looking dashboard, and so on and so forth. All these processes take time. What if they want you to present that in the next 15 minutes? But if you have these AI tools at your fingertips, all you need to do is input your data set, give it the correct prompts, and at the end of the day, it would analyze the process for to when give you results. You'd see a fantastic dashboard with insights, with steps, with recommendations, all that with the use of AI. So yeah, I would highly recommend that you go for AI data analysis, if not even because of the role, but what you'd be learning. You'd also have the opportunity to get other AI data analysis role that can set you up for a better pathway. So like I mentioned earlier, the discount is currently on. We have 12 slots. 12 slots is not a lot. You might think of it as a lot. It is not a lot. So you don't come back and say, oh, I want to pay 150K. I don't have 250K anymore. This would be a better time to lock in your slots. Okay, iPhone, I see your hand is raised. Please go ahead with your question.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, ma.
Yeah, good evening.
I think I was the one that raised the question that you just answered. So
Okay.
yeah, my name is Akin Bade, actually. Actually, I just joined. I think this is the second time I'll be joining the class. Actually, I think I really enjoyed the class very much. Because I didn't know, I just came back home and I saw the message that we were to join the class. I was so happy. And I think I really understand more. I had more understanding about what we're about to start. Actually, the first time I joined, I think I've already paid. They explained the payments. So I think I've
Yeah.
paid, yeah, we asked to pay 75,000 for the first line. I think I paid 40,000 already. So planning on
Oh,
balancing that 75. So I think I'm in already. So
all right. All right. Fantastic.
yeah, thank you. So I think I've gotten your question. You have really done justice. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to starting the program. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. No worries. Glad that you registered. Fantastic stuff. And looking forward to the amazing projects that you're going to work on, in class. Please, I would implore you, if you have any interest in any of the program, I know money can be a bit tricky, just lock in your slot so that you don't come back and you're spending a lot more. This is you cheating us at this point, and I don't want you to have to miss out on that. Okay, so let's move on to the next person. Please, if your questions are still in the chat, I will get to it. But we typically like to, take people that raise their hands, faster than, responding also in chat. So Christopher, please go ahead with your question or comment so that I can go back to responding to questions. Hi, Christopher, your hands are raised. Please go ahead with your question.
All
Hi,
right, good
Christopher.
evening.
Okay, good evening.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. My name is Christopher. I have a deep interest in data analytics, though,
Okay.
but the application of generative AI is a bit confusing. I don't know what is in for me if I'm going for Gen AI for data analysis. Yeah,
Fantastic.
am I going to have hands-on Power BI and SQL, especially SQL? Like, I really want to know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Christopher, please just confirm you can hear me so that I can
Yeah, I
take your
can hear
question.
you. I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so for generative AI for data analytics, we are starting from the beginning. So when I say beginning, we're going through things like Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Tableau. This is traditional data analytics. So once you build up with these tools in the class, the next step is now how you can use AI to fasten your process or, be a lot quicker or more productive. This is where AI tools now start to come into place. So we'll start off with the essentials: Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL. Then we'll move on to AI tools in itself, talking about things like DataGPT, there's Bricks AI, there's Julius AI, Zebra AI, because looking at data sets, cleaning data sets, analyzing data sets, it takes time to get done through all those processes, because you have to make sure that you have a messy data set, it's cleaned properly. You now start to use, before you start to do your dashboard, you have to make sure the dashboard looks great. You have slicers and so on and so forth. All this process, you're already using 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. But now there are AI tools that all you need to do is input the data set, prompt it. Oh, this is the case study. These are the questions I need you to, provide me a response to. These are the different key insights I want to see. And the AI tool would analyze your data set, create a report for you, give you insights, state recommendations, and so on and so forth. So you'll be learning both traditional data analytics tool, and then you'll now be taking it a step further to learn how you can use AI to, move your process a lot faster. I don't know if this answers your question, Christopher.
Yeah, perfectly. I love that. I love that. Thank you.
All right. So please, Christopher, just go in and lock in your slots as soon as possible. If you can get that done this night, fantastic. Close it with 40K. If you have 75K, phenomenal. If you have 150, that was great. But I want you to be part of the 12 people that will be able to benefit from this discount before it closes up. Okay. So if there's any other question, if anybody other person wants to speak, just use the raise hand icon and then I'll come to you. But that being said, I'm going back to the chat to look at the different questions or comments that is there. Okay. I don't think there are any other questions. Please, if you have anything, this is I don't want to say it's a safe space, but I don't even know how else to put it. This is the best time to talk about it so that we can clarify your question now on this call. And then, okay, Pelumi wants to clarify something. So please list your questions, ask your questions, and I would respond to them here in real time. If you need me to go over any of the courses I've talked about, I can also do that as well, okay? So just let me know what questions you have and we'll take it up right now. If you have any interest in any of the programs that I've been talking about so far, please make your payments. Go ahead. Once you're done with paying, please don't just pay, because I've seen a lot of people that have made payments and they were trying to figure out where is this payment coming from. There is the place where it states, click here to upload your receipt after payment. Click on the form, fill in the details so that you can register properly and we can send you the appropriate documents that you need. If you're not clear on the process, you can see that there's a phone number attached. You can just send a message to the number, a WhatsApp message, and the person would also direct you. The person that is handling it is Deborah. So please just, whichever method works best for you. If you want to pay on the website, you can pay on the website. The link is also there. So, but what I would implore you to do is lock in your slots right now. If you have 40K, lock in your slots, because tomorrow, next tomorrow, prices change. Okay. Once we get to 12 more people, we're locking the slots down for 150K and price goes back to 250,000 naira. That's a whole 100,000 naira in addition. This is a 40% discount. You absolutely do not want to miss out on it. Okay, Palumi, I'm still waiting on your question. I just see hi, just to clarify. So if there's any specific thing you want me to clarify on, please just go ahead so I can clarify on that. And if any other, okay, are you saying without a background knowledge of data analytics, the course provides the foundation and then guides one to understand layout or prior? Yes, you don't need prior knowledge for this at all whatsoever. All the courses that you see on here are beginner-friendly course. So we would go from what data analytics is. We have a lot of self-paced courses on that aspect, what data analytics course is about. And then we now move into the AI aspect of things. How can you now use artificial intelligence instead of using the manual process? So it's like you learning the manual aspects and also learning the automated aspects once you are done. So that's the flow we are working with. Does that clarify, Pelumi? Hi, Pelumi, are you clear? Or do you have any other question? Okay, I would assume he or she, okay, yeah, she's clear. He or she is clear. Does any other person have any questions you would like me to respond to before we call it a day? And peradventure, if you want to do this for your organization, not for yourself, you're looking to have a customized class, you don't want to be part of the class itself, you want us to come to your organization to train. Like I mentioned, we offer trainings for companies as well. It might not even be AI related. You do have a training course that you're looking for a training partner to also have the training for your company. Just reach out to my email is here, treasure@analytics.org. Send me an email and then we can set it up. Definitely there's a higher level of discounts for a group setting for training. So you reach out to me and we can have further conversations on there. But if there are no further questions, please ensure that you are locking in your slots as soon as possible, like right now, if you do have the financial capacity. If not, we'll get to see where we get to see on that. But yeah, if you have the financial capacity, 40K, you lock it in, 75K, if you have the full 150K to spare right now, go ahead to lock in your slots. Okay, I can see the payments coming in. Thank you so much, guys, for making payments so far. The slots are reducing. So if you do have someone you feel like this is beneficial to, also let them know. I'm going to ask one more time. I think it's already past 10. Are there any other questions? Does anyone have any other thing you need me to clarify on? Please, if you make payments, fill out the form. very important you fill out the registration form. If you're not clear on what to do, send a WhatsApp message to the number attached, okay? Are there any other questions? Let's see. When will the 40K lockdown? There's no date for it to end. But the thing is, we had 12 slots left for the training for that discount price. So that is why I'm saying if you have 40,000 naira right now, you can lock it now, you can lock it tomorrow. But at the very worst case scenario, if we're counting 12 people, we have this conversation every single day. We have a session tomorrow. We'll have a session next week as well. So it's just, the fastest number of people that can get in for the discount would be able to lock in. Okay. All right. Thank you, Maruf. Does any other person have any questions before we call it a day? Okay. I would assume we're all clear. All right. Since we're all good, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. I had an absolute blast having a conversation with each and every one of you. Thank you for sticking it out with me to this period. It was so great having conversations with you. I think we can all call it a night and go to bed. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and bye for now. Bye, and do have a great one. Take care, everyone.